Broncos country, we have a quarterback. Russell Wilson is a Denver Bronco. Let's discuss. Alright, Broncos country, we have some seismic breaking news. The Denver Broncos have their franchise quarterback, as they have agreed to terms with the Seattle Seahawks to trade for 9-time Pro Bowl quarterback Russell Wilson. Of course, for about an hour, it was all doom and gloom here in Broncos country after the news broke that Aaron Rodgers has decided to return to the Green Bay Packers. But alas, Russell Wilson has come to save the day. So the full terms of the trade just came out about an hour ago, so I want to break down what this means for our Denver Broncos as well as the Seattle Seahawks. Now, if you're a Broncos fan, you're probably super excited about this move. Right when this news dropped, I literally turned on the camera just to capture the emotions hitting me live. Dude, like I'm absolutely just shaking right now. The Denver Broncos have their fucking quarterback, man. Holy shit, Russell Wilson, a Denver Bronco. Details of the trade to be released soon, but dude, I'm legit speechless. I did not think this was happening. I legitimately did not think this was happening. I thought we were destined for quarterback hell, and oh my god, we got our fucking quarterback, Broncos country. We got our fucking quarterback. I feel that this probably encapsulates how most of Broncos country feels about this move. We have been searching in the desert for 6 years now to find that successor for Peyton Manning, and after many agonizing years, we have finally found the water, and it feels great. Now, I can definitely see Seahawks fans having one of two reactions to this move. Camp A is probably going to be super upset as future Hall of Fame quarterbacks don't grow on trees, and those fans probably wanted the Seahawks to make a more conscious effort to build around Russell Wilson. The 2021 Seahawks were without a doubt the worst team Russell Wilson had surrounding him during his tenure in Seattle, especially in the trenches. Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll and general manager John Snyder probably knew that they were facing a full-blown rebuild, and Russ had probably expressed his disinterest to be a part of that rebuild. So I definitely feel that this was more of a mutual parting of the ways. So let's get into the terms of the trade. The Denver Broncos have agreed to send 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, a 5th-round pick, quarterback Drew Lock, interior defensive lineman Shelby Harris, and tight end Noah Fant to the Seattle Seahawks in exchange for quarterback Russell Wilson and a 4th-round pick. From the Broncos' perspective, I'm honestly in shock that they gave up so little for Russ. I was under the impression that Seattle was going to want at least 3 firsts to even entertain moving Wilson. The fact that Seattle was willing to take this deal makes it pretty clear to me that Denver was a top destination for Russell Wilson, and the Seahawks were going to make a conscious effort to accommodate that. And frankly, why wouldn't it be? You now have one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league to pair with a plethora of weapons in Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, KJ Hamler, Albert Okwuegbunong, among others. Our offensive line is starting to take shape as one of the best units in football. Although our defense is going to have some question marks, even before the trade, the Broncos were going to need some help at interior defensive line. So now that Shelby Harris is gone, interior defensive line is definitely going to be a top priority, and edge rusher is also going to be a top priority. And frankly, I feel like this trade only opens the door even wider for Von Miller to possibly make his return to the Denver Broncos. I have another video dropping later today discussing that very possibility. We're also going to have some holes to fill in the secondary, but even after this trade, we are still left with 3 picks in the top 100, so that should give us plenty of flexibility in the draft. Reports have indicated that Denver is sending the 41st pick to Seattle, while retaining the 64th pick that they received in the Von Miller trade with the Rams. The other 2 players that are scheduled to head to Seattle in the trade are 2019 draftees and Noah Fant and Drew Lock. Of course, 2 players who were never really able to reach their full potential here in Denver, and are 2 guys who are going to be nice pieces for Seattle as they go into their rebuild.
The Broncos have now expressed their trust in Albert Okwuegbunam to be their starting tight end, and I feel that Albert is ready to take on a bigger role. The Broncos may look to bolster their tight end room in free agency or the draft, but that remains to be seen. Now, Russell's probably going to command a new deal this offseason, but even if that's the case, the Broncos can give him that deal and they will still have salary cap to burn. On top of that, just like in the Peyton Manning days, guys are going to take discounts to play with Russ because they're going to want to chase a ring. The Broncos can bring in veterans on cheaper deals now because we have that leverage in negotiations that you will be coming to Denver for a chance to compete for a championship with Russell Wilson. We're going to have a much easier time filling holes on this team now that we have that chip in our back pocket of having our franchise quarterback, and boy, man, that really does feel good to say. It's nice to go from quarterback hell to Super Bowl contenders in the matter of 20 minutes, and frankly, that's the beauty of this league and one of the reasons why I love it so much. One move like this can change the entire landscape in the league in the matter of 20 minutes, and it's really awesome, quite frankly. Now, from the perspective of the Seattle Seahawks, they do now have draft capital to launch their rebuild, and I do feel that it's long overdue for the Seahawks to begin said rebuild. What they've been doing these past few seasons clearly wasn't a sustainable formula. They were never able to return to the Super Bowl after the 2015 season, and it felt like the Seahawks were trying to still hold their hat on what they did 7 years ago with the Legion of Boom and all that stuff. This roster slowly but surely diminished in Seattle, and it seemed like more and more they were asking Russell Wilson to cover up their blemishes as the years went on. It worked in the short term, but that's not a winning formula sustainably. In 2021, the Seahawks finished 7-10, their first losing record, which ended up being in the final year of the Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson era. That was only the second time the Seahawks had missed the playoffs since Russell Wilson became their starting quarterback in 2012, and the Seahawks now enter the 2022 NFL Draft with the 9th overall pick, and it gives them plenty of flexibility to add a top-tier prospect in this draft. Maybe there's a quarterback that they like in the draft, perhaps a Malik Willis or a Kenny Pickett or maybe a Matt Corral. I don't know. What I do know is that the Seahawks do have building blocks for their rebuild, and it seems like they're taking a similar approach to what the Detroit Lions did with their rebuild last year, and it feels like the Denver Broncos are taking a similar approach as the Los Angeles Rams, swinging for the fences to acquire their franchise quarterback. Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick video breaking down this mammoth of a trade for the Denver Broncos, and I want to know how you feel, Broncos country. Do you feel that this was a fair trade in terms of what we gave up? Did we give up too much? Should Seattle have demanded more in return for Russell Wilson? It's an interesting question. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, Broncos country. I will say this, though. It feels damn good to finally be out of quarterback hell once and for all.